Okay, good evening. Welcome to tonight's Town Hall webinar. I'm Mary Beth Tack, and I'm honored to be the superintendent of Kelso School District. It's great to see a wonderful turnout this evening. This evening is a really exciting time for us to present for students returning to in-person, and especially for the class of 2021 and the class of 2022. As always, the health and safety of our staff and students remain our top priority. I continue to have the utmost confidence in the staff in their vigilance around safety protocols. And actually, my daughter will be among those returning to in-person learning the week of January 25th. And I could not be more comfortable and happy for her return. I have complete trust in our staff and the dedication to the overall health and safety protocols that we have in place. This evening our focus is on sharing information with you to prepare your juniors and seniors for returning to hybrid and in-person learning. The main topics for this evening are attendance, health attestations, class schedules, lunch, and much more. I want to introduce our panelists representing Kelso High School in this evening's webinar. Christine McDaniel, principal of Kelso. Jason Coburn, KHS athletic coordinator. He will also serve as our moderator tonight. Kim Elias, KHS assistant principal, and then also oversees special education, will answer some of those questions. Melissa Boudreau, assistant principal and district CTE director, and Rob Birdsell, KHS assistant principal, who also oversees our English language learner program. Additionally, somewhere on your screen, depending on the configuration of your computer, you have a Q&A button. Please use that feature to ask any questions during this presentation, and we will answer those either through verbally in the presentation or online. We'll send those out. And with that, I'll turn it over to Christine McDaniel, and thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Mary Beth, and welcome to all of you staff and students and families. I know we have a mix here tonight. So we're very excited to see you in a few days. Can't wait to be able to greet you as you come through the doors and spend our days with you over the next few months. This is very exciting. I want to go ahead and start off with, this is the presentation that I sent home to all families and students earlier today, actually pretty early this morning. It went out. We have a couple changes in here, so if you have saved it or printed it, it may look a little bit different, but not anything that'll make a huge difference for you. So these protocols and expectations are for the dates of January 25th through February 5th only. We will have a follow-up town hall on February 4th at 7 p.m., which I have included later on in the presentation, and more information will go out on that in the next couple of weeks as well, as we get closer to bringing our freshmen and sophomores back. So I want to start by answering the first question that has been asked most often, I think recently, is in-person attendance expected? It is for all students who are eligible at this time. So there are very few Kelso students who are allowed to stay home until the end of trimester 2 due to compromising situations or high-risk situations. And for trimester 3, which will begin March 15th if we have a snow day, or March 16th if we do not, any student who continues to need that remote learning due to a compromising situation will be encouraged to apply to KVA as a remote option when we shift into third trimester. So for the rest of this trimester, a few students will stay on. Other than those few students, we are expecting to see all juniors and seniors back beginning on Monday or Thursday, depending on your last name. Just to define eligible students again, it's all juniors and seniors, and then any students who have been attending in person will continue to attend in their current capacity. So we have had students on site who are here with varying groups for different purposes, and they will continue in whatever capacity they have been here up to this point. So we will have some students that are not juniors and seniors on site who have been here since day one or just beyond. The days and times are reflective of what we did back in October when we had our seniors return for a short time. Mondays and Tuesdays will be last name A through K in person. last name L through Z in remote. So that is not a typo, that is correct. Those students who are not in person will be expected to join their class via the remote option in Zoom or Google Meet each day. So you're in person or you're at home, but you're with your class. That gives you 4 full days of instruction every single week, so we can get everybody back on track where we need you to be. This again is just for January 25th through February 5th. So we will remain on the current time schedule with school starting at 8:30 and ending at 2:30. Students will attend periods 1 through 5 on Monday, Thursday, and periods 2, 4, and what we call CEL, college and career ready, or clubs and other on Tuesday, Friday afternoon. For our off-campus courses, fire science, police science, and health science, students will begin at 7:30. So if you have a student or you are a student in one of these courses, make sure that you are paying close attention to that 7:30 start time. You are expected to show up at the location where the course is taught. And those run through the first couple hours of the day. The same PPE protocols are required for those courses, so you'll need to wear a mask, you'll be socially distanced when you're there. That will be the same on campus as well. So for student class schedules, our juniors and seniors, we would like them to have their class schedule available on their phone, on their Chromebook, or printed or written out prior to their first day back on campus to make that transition easier. Most of our upperclassmen know where to go once they get to Kelso High, and they know their schedule as they've been attending every day since early in September anyway, albeit remote. So the schedule will be the same for the next couple weeks. All students should plan to bring their school issued Chromebook and your charger daily. If your child or you as a student did not pick up a Chromebook or need to replace one due to some kind of damage, you'll want to stop by the ASB office and see Ms. Cox, where she will provide you with a new Chromebook or a replacement one if needed. Once you get here to school, as you'll see in a slide in a little bit, you are expected to go straight to your first or second period class, depending on the day. If you need a Chromebook, once you get to that class, we'd like you to get a pass from that teacher to go down to ASB. We have to really be careful to make sure we don't have students wandering and grouping together, and we want to keep everybody safe. That's part of our whole what we believe will make it so that we can stay here in school and in person, and part of that staying 6 feet away and being careful here at the school. You can also come in tomorrow if you want to get that Chromebook before you come back on Monday or Thursday and check it out, or get a replacement Chromebook. Just again, make sure you bring your charger with you if it is a replacement, because that determines what type of Chromebook we need to get you. Okay, let's get down to the logistics. Arrival time for all students is 8:15 unless prior arrangements have been made with the administration. If you are a bus rider, you will arrive around 7:40. For the updated bus schedules, which includes your pickup time and drop-off times, which will be different from what the time that you would usually get on the bus, please visit the KHS transportation site and look for the hybrid bus schedule to see the updated times. There will be 2 schedules there. One will say hybrid bus schedule. That's the one you want to make sure you are looking at to see what time the bus will pick you up. Drop-off times will be the same in the afternoon as everyone's dismissed at 2:30. Okay, this is where the biggest difference comes in for all of us. As we are bringing students back in and we're preparing to bring you back in, we have had many conversations with school districts around the state who have already had students in. One of the most important things that they have done and that they've found to be beneficial in mitigating cases, as well as the opportunity to see all kids, is a daily check-in. So each day, juniors and seniors will check in at the door that corresponds with their last name, and I will share those with you here in a second. They are also, again, in the email that I sent out earlier today. Every student must have a completed attestation and a mask to enter the building. If you do not have a completed attestation, we will direct you to the South Gym for a health screening before you come into the school. So when you get down there, you'll see our health clerk and a few other trained staff that will assist you in making sure that you're good to go so that you can spend the day here at school with us. If you do need a mask, you forget it, or you get here and realize you didn't put it in your backpack type thing or don't have one, we will provide one for you here at the check-in site. So the attestation card looks like this. It will have your name on here, obviously. It is just a bright gold card with your name. Some students who are running START will have a sticker on there that lets us know that they may have to leave campus throughout the day. If you are a junior or senior, at this time, junior and seniors only, or on-site, previously on-site students, and you would like to pick up your proof of attestation early, so before you come back Monday or Thursday, you can come in tomorrow between 8 and 3. Once you get here, you'll see some signs out front of the main entry that direct you where to go to pick up that card. We ask that you keep that card on you, whether it be in your wallet or your purse or your bag, daily. This will make it so as you come in, you can show your card with your name and we'll know that you have completed that attestation, get you in the door and get you to class as quickly as possible. Please know that the first day, meaning Monday, may be a little bit slower getting in because this is our first time doing this with you. There will be 4 different entry points for students, so we'll have you spread out. We think we have it down and we're ready to go, but as you know, with anything, there will always be some hiccups. And so please have patience with us and we will get you through and into the school as quickly as possible. So for seniors, if you have the last name A through C, you'll be here on Monday, Tuesday, last name L through Q, excuse me, Thursday, Friday, you are going to enter right out front of the main office. So this is a snip clip of our main office, the map. So you'll enter through the main entry doors. Seniors with last name D through K and last name R through Z are going to enter at the north end of the building down by Mrs. Beck's room. So if you can follow the cursor here, this would be Allen Street. That's the north end. You will enter in that corner entrance by the north end. When you enter through the corner entrance at the north end, just here around the corner, you will see a grab and go breakfast station for all students. I'll mention this again later, but all lunch and breakfast are free for students. So we encourage you to eat, take a breakfast, eat what you can. Again, at lunch, get a lunch, eat what you can, and it is free for all students. For the seniors entering, your grab and go will be a little bit further down the way here. For juniors, last names A through E and L through R, you are going to enter at the far end at the near the South Gym. So you're going to come in through the Fitness Center South Gym athletic entrance down here. This is where you will come in. If you are a student that is directed to go to the South Gym because you don't have your attestation, then you'll also enter at the door at the corner of the South Gym, and they'll be clearly marked. We'll have staff members there to direct you, so don't worry about that. We'll make sure everybody gets where they need to go. For our juniors, last names F through K and last names S through Z, you are going to enter next to the auditorium across from the main office. So the red arrow shows the music hallway. It's not that hallway. You're going to come in on the other side of the auditorium. So you will enter from the exterior door into the auditorium, where we will check for your attestation, give you your attestation card if you don't have it, and send you on your way. Those juniors who are entering at this end will get their grab and go breakfast in the cafeteria. And again, there'll be direction to get yourself there. These kids will be on Main Street. Once you are inside, so once you're here, you have your attestation, you're good to go. We ask that you proceed to the grab and go breakfast station nearest you. Again, grab it. Take advantage of the opportunity to have a free breakfast. and then go directly to your first period class if it's Monday or Thursday, or your second period class if it is Tuesday or Friday. Once you are in your classroom, you will remain in that classroom for the duration of the class period. At this time, and I want to note that I've included that in a few places, at this time, walking through the halls prior to school is not permitted. We know that's something that a lot of students enjoy doing, but right now we're trying to get you back here safely, and see what we need to do to make sure that that can happen. So at this time, walking through the halls prior to school is not permitted. At this time, the library is not open before school. We will be looking at how we can open that as soon as possible, as we know there are many of you who are anxious to check out books or utilize some of the materials that are there in the library. If you do need to visit with your counselor before school, you need to make an appointment via email with your counselor. So if that's something that's going to need to happen on the first day, you'll need to get a hold of your counselor tomorrow and make an appointment to make sure that you have permission to do so. Again, we need to keep as few of students as possible in each area, including the counseling center. So the counseling center will not be open for drop-in unless it is an emergency. Okay, so the grab and go breakfast stations, again, free breakfast for all. I'm going to keep saying that, take advantage of it. It's an opportunity. We want to make sure that everybody is fed and that we don't have anyone that is going without food. As we know, food insecurities are a real issue right now, and we don't want that to be a problem for you while you're here at Kelso High. So again, those juniors who are entering near the South Gym will pick up their breakfast in the cafeteria. You will travel behind the main gym along where the locker rooms are. Sorry, I had a second there. My brain stopped there. So along the back hall where the locker rooms are to the cafeteria, you'll see black lines on the floor that help you maintain the proper social distancing if there happens to be a line. Juniors entering near the auditorium will pick their breakfast up on Main Street near B Hall, so you'll see a grab and go station there. Seniors entering at the main entrance will pick theirs up at the same spot. And then, as I mentioned before, seniors entering at F Hall will pick theirs up at the corner of A and F Hall. For those students who are currently on site, which I see there are a few of you on here now, your families, you will pick up your breakfast in the cafeteria as you have been doing up to this point. So you'll enter through the main entrance and head to the cafeteria and then to wherever it is you need to go. So for those seniors who came back in October, at the time, we had to utilize seating charts as we were learning what to do to make sure that students were safe during lunch. That is a time during the day when they are unmasked. And so we want to make sure that we take extra precautions to distance our students. At this time, we have seating available for students 8 feet apart. So we have gone beyond the 6-foot mark to make sure that we can ensure all of our students are safe while they are at lunch and while they are eating. So for 2 weeks, January 25th through February 5th, I want to really reiterate, it's just these 2 weeks, you will attend the same lunch as your third period teacher on Monday or Thursday, and that teacher will be letting you know which lunch that is. They should have posted it to their Google Classroom either today or will tomorrow. And you will attend the same lunch as your fourth period teacher on Tuesday or Friday. So for some students, that may mean you have first lunch on Monday and you have third lunch on Tuesday. It doesn't happen to a lot of students, but for some students that will be the case simply because we have to go with who your teacher is on the days that you're here with the schedule that we currently have. Again, just like breakfast, lunch is free for all students. Please take advantage of it. There's no reason for anyone to not have lunch. We have it here for you. Get what you want, eat what you can, and make sure that your stomach is full so that you can learn. So for these 2 weeks of lunch, January 25th through February 5th, there will be no seating chart. So it's open seating in the cafeteria and commons. Most of you will be here for 4 days. One group of students will only be here for 3. So for those either 3 or 4 days, over the next 2 weeks, it is open seating. Just a reminder, since you've been away from us for way too long, KHS is a closed campus, meaning you need to stay on campus for the duration of the school day. Once you arrive here, you are expected to stay on campus. We do not accept lunch deliveries in the main office, so if you have become accustomed to DoorDash, bringing your lunch, that is not going to be an option while you're here with us. But again, we have free lunch, so you can skip the DoorDash and have a delicious Kelso High School lunch. And then once you are here, if you drive a vehicle, once you're here during the day, you have to get permission if you need to run out to your car for something. And oftentimes we know that our students forget something, or you may have left something in the car that you didn't know you needed. And if you need to go out to your vehicle, just stop by the main office and we'll make sure we get you a pass so that you have permission to do so. Okay. So lunch, again, for those seniors who were able to come back, you'll remember that we had to walk through the hall by the auditorium and main gym. For our juniors, that will be new for you. So I have provided a map on the next slide. If you are a new student to Kelso High, a lot of this will be brand new for you. We'll make sure that we have maps available for you on those first days. And if you need assistance finding your way, stop here in the office or ask your first or second period teacher, and we'll make sure we get someone to help you out. All other students who are not getting a hot lunch will proceed directly to the commons or cafeteria and select a seat. And for these first 2 weeks, you will be seated in either the commons or the cafeteria. Our hot lunch students will go around. Once you are seated, we do ask that you remain seated until dismissal time. If you need to get up to use a restroom or get a drink or go to the ASB office to take care of business, you just need to request permission from one of the staff members, and there will be quite a few of us roaming around. Just let us know so that we can make sure you get where you need to go. So the hot lunch route wraps around the main gym. This is Main Street again, so you'll head down where the gold lines are here, back in front of the girls' locker rooms, around the corner, and then into the cafeteria entrance here. And again, along this route, you'll see black hash marks. If for some reason the line were to get backed up, just make sure that you're on one of those hash marks, which ensures you're at least 6 feet apart, and in most cases even further. We don't project that will be an issue. Our cafeteria workers, our kitchen staff have done a really good job of making sure that it's a pretty efficient distribution system set up down there. So you should be able to get through pretty quickly. So aside from do we have to come, the number 2 most important question is, where do we use the restroom? That one comes up every single time. So we want to make sure we address that. At this time, with just our juniors and seniors, we have the main hall bank of restrooms, which is our largest bank of restrooms, open, F hall at the north end of the building, and D hall at the west end of the building. So there's quite a few restrooms open for students to get to when needed. We would like you to use the restroom closest to the classroom that you're exiting, which will put you, again, for contact tracing purposes, make it easier for us to make sure that you weren't exposed if there was an exposure. We are going to ask you to sign out and back into class when using the restrooms. So your teachers should explain to you how that works. They will receive a sign in, sign out sheet tomorrow. And then we have replaced our bubblers on the drinking fountains, those faucets, with bottle filling stations, which have been installed throughout the school. We currently have one near the gym that will be open to you. We have one at the corner of A and E Hall, one at the corner of D and E Hall, so either end of the school, the east and west sides, and then one that was put in just today down in the cafeteria. So we have 4 water filling stations open. Bring your water bottles with you. We know that's better for the environment and it's better for you. So go ahead and bring those with you and feel free to fill those up as needed. We do ask that when you are in the restrooms, or if you're headed to the restrooms, that you just think again about socially distancing, especially in F and D hall. If you open up the door to go in and it looks like there are a few people in there, We'll have some hash marks again outside the door for you to just wait patiently until someone comes out. We just really want to reiterate wearing your mask and staying that 6 feet apart from others. It's very, very important for us to be able to continue to be here at school. So between classes, that's what we call passing time. Again, you're expected to go directly to your next class. It's a 5-minute passing time, as would be in a traditional schedule. Again, if you're in need of the restroom or to use that water filling station, just observe the social distancing. And I already mentioned that you can find those marks to assist you in that when you get down there. That brings us to the end of the day and dismissal. This is a little bit different than when we had some students back in October. We had a little bit of a delayed dismissal or a rotating dismissal. At this point, we're going to have all students dismiss at the 2:30 bell. You will exit the building using the nearest door to your last classroom. So if you are in the art room, you'll have a door that's next to the art room at the north end of the building. If you are in Mr. Hartley's room, you'll exit through the G Hall door. So just the nearest exit to your classroom. Again, helping us to make sure that we don't have groups of people congregating and the opportunity for some type of sickness, whether it be the virus or other to spread. We want to make sure we do our best while we're here on site to follow the appropriate protocols. Once you exit the building, just proceed directly to the bus loop or the vehicle or off the school property, however you get here. And just a reminder, you are expected to socially distance in the parking lot and at the bus loop. So on any school property, the expectation is that you are socially distancing. We heard from the bus garage today that it will be more important than it ever has been for students who are going to ride an alternative bus to get that bus pass. That was how they will keep track of who was on the bus. If there's a need to do any kind of contact tracing. You can obtain a bus pass here at Kelso High from the attendance office. We have a new attendance clerk. It's Mrs. Boyko. For some of you that were here, or all of you that were here last spring, it was Mrs. Parsons was still with us. And so Mrs. Parsons has moved over to Huntington, and we now have Mrs. Boyko in the attendance office. She will be a familiar face to most of you. You will have seen her around the school. She can help you out with getting that bus pass. And then finally, because this is the way we do business in Kelso, we're always looking ahead. We're always hoping for the best and trying to get ahead of the what ifs and what mights. Our plan, as I mentioned earlier, is to bring back our freshmen and sophomores beginning February 8th. So it would be 50% of our student body on Monday, Tuesdays, and 50% of our student body on Thursday, Fridays. We're very excited for the opportunity to do this. Upon return of our freshmen and sophomores, all of our students will revert back to the traditional 5-day schedule. So students, again, will be here 1 through 5, Monday, Tuesday, 1 through 5, Thursday, Friday. You will have the opportunity to see your teachers twice a week, which we're very excited about, in person twice a week and then remote twice a week. Very, very excited about that opportunity for you. As I mentioned earlier, we will have a follow-up Kelso School District Town Hall on February 4th at 7. It will be labeled freshman, sophomore return, but everyone is welcome to come, as we'll have some more information about scheduling, any changes that come up over the next 2 weeks. As we know, at this time, a lot of things change very quickly. So we'll make sure we get that information out to you as well. And that last bullet on there, I really do have the utmost confidence that our juniors and seniors can get it done. They can do what they need to do, follow these protocols, and help us to get all of us back here as soon as we can together. I was very, very impressed with our seniors, their excitement, their overall just willingness to follow the protocols for those kids that came back in October. And I've been very happy and proud of our students who have been on site since September, of their ability to do so as well. And I know we can continue with everyone else. I'm just very, very excited for all kids to be back on site. Okay, Mr. Coburn, do we have any questions that we need to address?
Let me unmute here. I might as well just answer it now. We're still working on details. So the question was, will students be allowed to use locker rooms to change before sports practice? We're still working on a lot of details surrounding sports logistics, and the locker rooms is one thing that hasn't been flushed out 100% yet. So I can't say yes and I can't say no. So we're going to talk as a league and figure out what everybody else is doing. I also need to confer with our superintendent and our risk management person surrounding those things. So the second question, and I think this is the last one, will Cal Wayman be starting and ending at the same time as KHS? I believe the answer is yes, isn't it? Christine? Mary Beth?
Yes. And our webinar for middle school, much like tonight, will answer some of those questions that will be next week.
Okay. New question just came in. I am in KVA and Kelso Zoom, so when I go back, can I just go when I have that class, or do I have to show up early morning?
That's a great question. So you can come when you have the class. If it is a day when you have multiple KHS classes, so maybe it's a 2 or a 1 and a 5 at KHS, that in between time, you are encouraged to stay on site. We have a spot for you where you can work on your KVA classes. However, if you have a day where you just have a second period Kelso High, you can leave after that class, or if you have a fourth period at Kelso High, you don't need to come until that class starts. So you do not need to come early. If you are a hybrid KVA KHS student, you can come for your KHS classes only, but you are always welcome to be on site. I want to reiterate that we do have a space for you if it is easier for you to work here at school, and we want you to come and take part in our breakfast and lunch if that's something that you'd like to do.
Okay. Christine, this is probably for you as well, or any of you smart people. How productive will an in-person class be with only some students in person and most students still remote?
I'll go ahead and answer that for our student that asked that question. So hopefully very productive. We have spent a lot of time with our teachers discussing the importance of providing an in-person task and an in-person experience for those kids who will be here. So on our Monday, Tuesdays and our Thursday, Fridays with the other students, there will be a time when all students Zoom together at the beginning of class so that every single student gets the same level of instruction. And then there'll be a time shortly after that where remote students will break off to work on their at-home task, and our in-person students should be working with the teacher or in small groups, using appropriate protocols so that it's a more in-person experience. We definitely want you to feel like it's different than just being at home, and our teachers are working really hard to make sure that happens. For those of you that have mixed grade level classes, you will have more students with you in your classes this first 2 weeks, and then obviously even more once we bring back our freshmen and sophomores. So some of your classes will still continue to be quite small these first few days. As we bring back those freshmen and sophomores, we will see larger class sizes, and you'll see a shift in the balance of your instruction.
Okay. Next one's for me. Can you give details, updates regarding sports for athletes and spectators? We are currently still in phase 1. Which means we will begin, there's 2 sports that we can start February 1st, and that is cross country and boys golf. So those 2 sports will begin immediately, and every other sport is in a holding pattern until we look at numbers. So our league has come up with a plan where we are going to look at numbers weekly and make decisions on either collapsing seasons, like not collapsing, but condensing seasons, making them shorter, and continuing to have a 3 season schedule, but just shorter seasons. Or at some point we'll have to make a decision on going to a 2 season schedule and having sports stack on top of each other. As far as spectators go, again, we're talking through a lot of the details and logistics, and every time we get into one conversation, it sprouts up probably 15 or 16 others that we have to discuss. I know that Mary Beth and I have talked about this at length, and we would love to be able to allow spectators on site. They're just going to be at a very limited fashion, and the details of that I'm not sure. So like when we're in phase 1, there's no spectators allowed, and then it kind of relaxes as we move phases. So we'll continue to push out information when we make our final decisions. Do some classes have more than 15 students? And how is that decided?
So I'll go ahead and answer that one as well. We do have some classes that if every single student were to return, would have more than 15 students. If that happens, which based on what we've seen in the past has not, but we're hopeful that it will. It's actually a problem we hope to have. We have a rotation set up so that we can rotate students in either right outside the classroom door or to the career center for part of the class. So you might be the first day, there might be 2 students that rotate out for the first 20 minutes of class, and then another 2 students the next 20 minutes of class. So they would just zoom in at that time and then be able to come back in. So each teacher has it set up a little bit differently, but we're making sure that we adhere to that guideline at this time of only 15, no more than 15 students in any one learning space, which also includes our physical education classes. It has been a challenge to make that happen, but we feel that we have a plan and that we can make sure that we follow through with it in a way that's safe for all. When we do phase to the next phase up, phase 2, we will be able to modify that plan to include all students being in class as long as they can socially distance. At this time, with the 50-50 model, the A through K and the L through Zs, we won't have any classes at that time that have more than 20 students in them. So we would make sure that all students are socially distanced in their class. And I just want to reiterate that you are expected to wear a mask throughout the day, except when you are eating or drinking. So that was something that has come up a couple times. So that is the expectation anywhere in the building.
Currently, there's no other questions in the chat or in the Q&A section. I'll add to the sports thing as I was thinking. If you would just continue to look at the Kelso High School website, the live feed. We'll continue to put out information as we get it through that venue, and hopefully try when we have major announcements, try to push out in other fashions like through Skyward or email.
I just want to say thank you to the panel. Again, we are all looking forward to your return, and we realize, everyone on staff realizes that you have been out of school for a very long time, and we will do everything we can to make you feel welcome and get back into the groove of being in school in person. We know it may take longer for some of you than others, but we have patience. We will have that patience with you, and we ask that you have patience with us as we all learn how to be back together again. I know we can do it, and we can do it well. So I have a positive attitude, and I'm very hopeful that things will move along as we plan them to here at Kelso High. If you have any questions after tonight, feel free to email me, which thank you to those of you that have been. It's been great. Just email me through Gmail. Try to get back to you as soon as I can, or ask your teachers if you're more comfortable. Most of our teachers are pretty quick about getting back to you with those answers. If they don't have them, they ask us and they get back to you pretty quickly. So thank you again for joining us this evening. And we hope to see you in a couple weeks at our follow-up. And I'm glad that we were able to answer those questions for those of you that had them. Please have a good evening, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.